All right, Isaiah Gibson. Has he been brought out? Come forward, Trey. All right. So I hope he's enjoying his travel and getting Rachel in her new place.
I believe so, Judge.
She is living a great life.
She is.
Want to be young and free again,
Yep.
right? So when will he be back?
He'll be back next week, Your Honor. I know he's out of county on Tuesday, but any day other than that, we'll be ready to get this matter resolved.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, on this, we're not going to be able to do it next week because I'm allowing attorneys for the state and defense attorneys to be off for spring break because everybody has a young child. And as I say, this will be the only time in 2025 that you can do spring break with your
Right.
child. Then it's going to be a new year. All right, so we can bring it back the week of the 17th. So it's the 17th, the 18th, or 20th.
Let me confirm real quick.
Yeah, no, okay.
The 20th is fine, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, if you'll put this on March 20th, it is Gibson. All right, and we'll let him know when he's brought out.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too. Deputy Lord, you just let him know his attorney is out of state. Matthew Salazar.
It's me, Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Salazar was scheduled for contested today. In my understanding, talking to the bailiffs that he is at the Bexar County Jail in booking, picked up a new number one.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson on Salazar. Let's recall this. He's in the middle of being booked. So recall it for the week of March 17th. All right, Vashon. Mr. Salazar is coming back on the 17th. He's in booking. Right, court is calling 2024 CR 012868 State versus Alexis Spang. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
And Brian Powers for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Ms. Spang?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand in count 2, you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? Did you understand if the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, sir.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. There's a $1,500 fine to be probated, affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2024 PF 18473. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, and there's to be no contact with the complainant. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, sir.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be 60 hours of community service restitution, the BIPP course, TAP evaluation, and follow recommendations. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, sir.
Then to the offense in count 2, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Other than Miss Spang is young, she has no prior criminal history, Your Honor. She was in a toxic relationship, and that's why the no contact order is a good thing. And we're asking the court to follow the recommendations.
All right, any drug issues with you?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any children?
No.
Do you live here in Bexar County?
No, Your Honor.
Where are you going to be living?
Somewhere here in San Antonio.
She is from Pennsylvania, so I don't think she was quite familiar, but this is Bexar County. But she will be soon.
Are you asking for a transfer back to Pennsylvania?
No, Your Honor.
How far did you go in school?
all the way, graduated,
All right, so what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
working,
Doing what? When's the last time you had employment?
before I got, locked up,
Doing what?
server at Denny's.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with the complainant. Taking consideration 2024 PF 18473. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The BIPP course. There's to be a TAP evaluation in custody. Follow TAP recommendations. Proof of employment within 30 days of release, no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. There's to be 180 hours of community service restitution. If you obtain some higher level of education or trade school certification, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. So you can choose to better yourself or pick up trash on the side of the highway. That's what they're having people do now. There's to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Shannon.
All right, good luck to you.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
would she be able to do, she's been in continuous custody since this offense because her family is out of state. They haven't been able to bond her out. Would she be able to do the TAP evaluation out of custody, considering
No.
how many months she's been in?
They'll be able to complete the TAP. My understanding, the TAP will probably be done by next week.
Understood.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Court is calling 2024 CR 010417, State of Texas versus Santo Carmona. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Megan Galloway for state. Kim Gonzalez for defense.
And are you Mr. Carmona?
Yes.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault bodily injury? The range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea. Okay, is there, if the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you are giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Porque ya no quiero estar más en la cárcel. Because I don't want to be in jail any longer.
Well, no, here's the thing. I don't want anybody to enter into plea bargain agreements because they don't want to be in jail any longer. If you would like, we can recall this back for jury trial and we'll recall it back this month for jury trial.
No.
All right, so then are you proceeding by trial, by entering into a plea bargaining agreement freely and voluntarily?
Yes,
right.
voluntarily.
Did you understand by giving up the rights that I've told you about by entering into this plea bargain agreement, you're giving up those rights that the court has gone over with you. The right to jury trial, the right to remain silent, the right to cross-examine witnesses. Did you understand?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
Mr. Carmona, do you understand that by entering into this plea, you will be deported?
Yes.
And did you understand you would not be allowed naturalization and will be denied re-entry into the United States?
Yes,
According to the plea, punishment is be assessed at 232 days in the Bear County Jail. There's an $800 fine and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
yes,
Defense, is that the plea?
That's correct.
Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
no contest.
Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will the court will find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Judge, we're just requesting that the court follow the plea agreement.
And state, have you spoken to the complainant? All right, the court will sentence you to $800 fine. Time and money will not run concurrent. There's 232 days in the Bear County Jail. There's to be no contact with Walter Hernandez. There's to be no re-entry into the United States. Right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Court is calling 2024 CR 011483, State versus Angel Placencia. Could I have parties announced?
Joseph Gibson for defendant.
And are you Mr. Palencia? Why were you late?
Obviously,
Yes, you were.
um,
Docket is at 9 a.m.
my mom is pregnant. It's well for us to get out of the house.
All right, so here's the thing. I understand that, and I understand that you're young. I can tell you're super young. But you're gonna have to make sure that you report to probation on time. Otherwise, they're gonna tell me you're not reporting on time, and whoever your probation officer is, they may file a motion to revoke. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Counsel, you received all discovery, reviewed it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Placencia, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? All right, let's go off the record for a moment.
Oh,
All right, so, and again, if you all decide this is what you're gonna do, it's still here, I'll accept it. But I can tell you this, you better not get in any trouble
No, ma'am.
between now and when you come back on this, otherwise, you know.
I moved back to my parents' house and I work in the oil industry now and I own my own work.
Well, that's something you need to bring to the state about what you're doing now. Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, ma'am.
You did.
All right, that's good. All right, so how much time do you all want, state? All right, and you say you work the
Oil industry, the oil fields.
the all fields. So in this 2-week time, if he's working in the all field and things don't work out the way you perhaps want it to work out, I can take his plea by Zoom. It won't be a problem.
Okay.
All right, so do y'all want to put it for the end of March? All right, so you all want to do March 3rd?
Wait,
I'm sorry, that's April 3rd. Well, you know what? Actually, I see there's a specific trial that's coming up March 31st. Do y'all want to do it March 24th, 26th, 27th, or either the week of March 17th?
24, 25th.
All right, 25th. Norma, can you recall for March 25th on this case? All right, we'll bring you back on March 25th. Do not get into any type of trouble. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused and don't be late. Who's here on Juan Lozano? All right, if you'll come up, sir. Sean, do you want it on Tuesday, the 17th, I'm sorry, Tuesday, the 18th, or Thursday, the 20th? Did you said Tacoma is coming up on the 8th of? Oh. All right, so we can bring this back the week of the 14th. We can do that Monday, the 14th. All right, we're gonna bring you back on April 14th. They tell me that they're running the evaluation, so that's as soon as I can give you, okay? All right, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Who's here on Richard Flores? Madrigal? All right, where are we on this case?
This is discovery deadline, I believe, Judge. We have that.
Okay,
I believe we have all the discovery at this point.
all right, and was the state able to tender an offer or no?
There was an offer back in January before I was appointed on this case, but there's no updated offer.
Okay. How old are you, sir?
30.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you'll set this for a plea deadline date, we can do it the week of March 24th. The week of, yeah, the week of, no, the week of March 24th. All right, March 25th.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
No problem. All right, Timothy Dean, come down. Joseph Macomb.
Judge, I'm here. 1 second.
Okay. Hi.
Hi,
You're-
Judge. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. So how's your flat tire?
Well, Judge, it's still flat. I just been waiting to get this knocked out, but if we could get this taken care of, or if we need to reschedule, because then I need to make arrangements to get the car taken over and get the tire swapped out. So we don't. It's all over the place, Judge. But yes,
Tell you, they don't make
need to
cars
cut.
the way they used to make. You know, used to you would have a full tire
That's right.
that you can change
And-
it yourself. Then they went to the donut tire, and now it's you don't get a tire.
Well, Judge, growing up with my father, my uncles, everybody could work on their cars, and now there's no way. I mean, you have to have the specialized tools, and it's so compact in there. But yes, it's different than it was.
All right, so we had an issue with his
Okay.
tire. So, like, if I reset this council, it would have to be on the soonest I can set it is March 17th.
Well, I think the hearing judge is on the 20th. And I don't even know, Judge, if Tim is on the feed or if he's not.
Oh, he's right here.
Okay. What I'm trying to coordinate with this judge is a matter out of Guadalupe County. And if you recall, I had mentioned that on Monday that I'm trying to come up with a plan actually that may work for everybody, that ultimately would benefit Tim. But of course, I need the time and the latitude to make sure that everybody understands what I'm proposing and that they're on board with it. The MTR is, your all's MTR only has a few conditions violated. The county court 6 is just, I think there's 3 pages worth, but most of those are just repetitive for the same violation. But Judge, as far as the bond hearing itself, I mean, all we were trying to do is to get a bond set.
All right.
This may be
We
problem.
can go forward. If your client is fine with you appearing by Zoom, we can go forward on a bond.
That's all it was, Judge, is just to get a bond set on the MTR out of your court.
Have you talked to the state to see if you all have an agreement?
No, Judge, I haven't. That all of this was to have taken place this morning, and then I had these car issues.
All right. All right. So with regards to the reinstatement of bond, you're saying the previous amount of the bond, because I can't reinstate
I got you, Judge. It, just to set a bond for him. I misspoke. If we could get a bond set, I believe he's remanded without bond right now out of your court on the MTR. County Court 6 has set a bond amount at 10,000 with the conditions of GPS and Scram.
All right, let's go on the record. Court is calling 2020 CR 0375W, State of Texas versus Timothy Joseph Dean. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Joseph Macomb, counsel for Timothy Dean.
And are you Mr. Dean?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right. The defense is requesting a bond be set in this matter. You're entitled to a bond because it's a deferred adjudication. All right, defense. The state
Judge-
said they're in agreement to a $15,000 bond.
Judge, that would be fine. And then the conditions out of County Court 6 would be imposed anyway. So, Judge, we're in agreement with that.
All right, because you're on deferred adjudication and on probation out of this court, the court is aware of the issues that you have and the appropriate conditions that will be set with this bond. Did you file a motion to set bond, counsel?
No, Judge, I had just walked in on, well, actually, I came in last week and then I was able to catch you on Monday. But I didn't file a formal motion, Your Honor. I just approached.
All right, any objection to proceeding on an oral motion to set bond? All right, then the court will set your bond at $15,000. Full GPS. Waive fees. Ms. Ferguson, counsel tells me this is already set on on March 20th. All right, we'll see you back on the 20th. Norman, if you'll give him a reset form so he'll know to be here.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you.
Judge, thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome. I hope everything works out.
Thank you very much.
All right,
You have a great afternoon.
thank you. Thursday, a Monday, but we're not going to allow it to happen. All right, so where are we on this case with regards to discovery?
We just got onto it. So I think it's fairly recent, like new as far as discovery.
All right. So was there blood drawing involved in this or no?
I believe so.
All right. They took your blood? All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, I need a 30-day reset for discovery. Well, could I have a copy of the violation report? On Mariscal? There's no attached violation report. We are not going to let this day become a Monday. Even if it is feeling like a Monday, we are going to, what we're going to do is we're going to be happy because it's Friday's Eve. All right, and defense and state, there's a juror that's missing, so we're just waiting on a juror.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, they're going to print out another. And have you conferred with the state on the violation report?
No, I have not. Your Honor.
All right, you all need to confer. All right, just have a seat. While she's doing that, Mariscal, come forward. Jason, are you ready on Mariscal? It's the DWI.
Yes, Judge.
All right, come forward. All right, you have high BRAC readings. Did you review the violation report with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're not on the record. Look, you're not allowed to drink alcohol
Yes.
while you're on this bond. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you continue with what you're doing, what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up at the Bexar County Jail because you're violating your bond. Do you understand?
Yes,
So when's the last time you had alcohol?
ma'am. The 14th, February 14th.
All right, so why are you drinking?
It was, I did a surprise dinner for my wife at home and we had wine. And the next morning I had a soccer tournament. I didn't.
All right, here's the thing, not allowed.
Yes.
State, what are you requesting?
We're in agreement with that, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's going to be the alcohol awareness course. The court will ask that fees are waived. And there's going to be 120 sober meetings. In 120 days. And where are we on discovery? And I know this is his first time, and you said there was a blood draw?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this in 45 days for discovery. All right, April 17th. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, do not, if you feel as though you're going to drink alcohol, do not do it.
Yes,
Go to a sober meeting, you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Abel Favela? Yes.
Judge, good morning.
Hello, good morning. So did you get a chance to confer with the state?
I did, Your Honor. We would like to proceed forward with the restitution hearing.
All right, are you all prepared for the restitution hearing? All right, so you say you don't believe, do you know for sure you're not ready for a restitution hearing? All right, probation. On Abel Favela, have you received any updates on restitution from the complainant? All right, so just have a seat. They're gonna see if they have anything.
Your Honor, sounds good. And then once that information is ready, may we approach? that?
Yes.
Thank you. This is with regard to Mr. Favela, Judge. I know that felony drug court, we're still waiting to hear back. I believe they were not able to get in direct contact at this moment. And I think the state would need to try to attempt to fill in their possible witness, Judge. So we're unopposed for a reset, maybe 2-3 weeks. I know
All right, let's have your client come up.
Mr. Favela.
Hi.
How are you doing?
So on Mr. Favela, counsel, if you would like for him to appear by Zoom, if he's able to appear by Zoom, since this is a restitution hearing. And what I'll do, this will be the last setting state that the court is going to allow for restitution. So March 20th, is that a good date for everyone?
Is that at a what
It's
date?
Thursday.
Okay, because you usually have felony drug court on Thursdays. We could do either a Monday or Tuesday, Judge, because Thursday.
All right. So Tuesday, the 18th.
Yes, Your Honor, that will work with us.
So once you sign the reset form, you're excused. And thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Yes. All right, everyone, you're in a courtroom, whisper. Do you have any objection to their witness
No
appearing?
objection, Your Honor.
All right, yes. So how's everything going in drug court?
Pretty good. I'm just trying to get my affairs in order and keep up with it.
All right, well, you're looking better.
Thank you.
All right, if there are any issues, let me know, but drug court is a good program.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so just have a seat. Your attorney will bring the reset form and I'll notate that you can appear by Zoom. That way you won't have to travel back downtown.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You have a good day.
Oh, thank you, you too. Vashan Favela is going to be recalled for March 18th. And all parties are going to be allowed to appear by Zoom. All right, Shannon Anderson. And counsel, is this an application? All right, probation, this is an application. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 9710 State versus Shannon Anderson. For the state? Defense. And are you Mr. Anderson?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you reviewed all of the discovery with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
And have you received all discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Anderson, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? It appears that you're proceeding on count 2.
Count 2, leaving count 1 and proceeding on count 2.
Any objection?
No objections.
Mr. Anderson, did you review the admonishments with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you understand in count 2, you're charged with the offense of robbery? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. There's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, and there's to be no contact with the complainant. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 10 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, and no contact with the complainant. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offense of, as charged in count 2, how do you plead?
No
Guilty?
contest.
Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same, and state you may be excused. And after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Honor. He has accepted responsibility. Well, more than anything else, he's motivated by his desire to be there for his children. He has 2 small kids. That's something that's been brought up pretty much every single time we come to court.
All right. How old are your children?
My daughter is 15, and my son is 14.
All right. So they were currently alive when this incident occurred. So why were you not thinking about them at that time?
No explanation.
All right. People always think about their children. I've discovered when they have a criminal case or there's something else going on in their lives. And usually they're using their children as a prop to say, please don't send me to prison. I have children, or know that I am going to do things differently because I have children, as though they haven't had children before. So do your children stay with you?
Yes.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated with 2 years JUCO,
Okay. And so JUCO?
junior college.
All right. So why don't people say the words juvenile, junior college? I'm sorry, what? See, that's the problem with young people today. They're abbreviating everything.
Well, I think also has to do with because you were playing football,
Correct.
and again in the sports arena, they often refer to that as video.
All right. So you played football
In 7th grade, Your Honor.
and you just decided to give up your dream.
I peaked in 7th grade. It was downhill after that.
You could have been a linebacker or something.
I was Rudy before there was Rudy.
So what do you do for a living?
I run a power washing company.
All right. Court will sentence you to 10 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors, $2,000 fine. That will be probated. There's to be no contact and restitution to the complainant. Counsel, if you feel that the restitution amount is not appropriate, we can have a restitution hearing. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Positive.
So you're not setting a good example for your children. You're not allowed to use marijuana or drink alcohol while you're on probation. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. With the UAs, test for levels. How often are you using marijuana?
As of now, not anymore, but every day.
All right. So we're going to do a TAP evaluation out of custody. And you need to be honest with probation on the amount you've been using. That's yes or no.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right. And then probation, if they recommend inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. And I'm gonna want 60 sober meetings in 60 days. All right, good luck to you. Do better.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who's here on Zion? All right, have you conferred with the state?
I have, Judge. They've made him an offer and he has declined the offer, Judge.
All right, how long do y'all expect this jury trial to last?
I would say
2 days?
I'd say 3.
All right, Norma. I need a jury trial date. It's criminal trial division, 2 days. All right, July 8th. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you're gonna have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Hello. Hello. Hi. All right. On this case, is there, I'm sorry, what?
You want to come back next week?
Okay. So, yeah, next
Okay,
week is
the-
not available.
Then, I mean, the week after, there's a bunch of different things we need to discuss about her possible rehabilitation. And we just can't do it today, and I wish we could.
Okay. And she has a motion to revoke pending, correct?
She does.
All right. Ms. Abrams? On this case, it's a motion to revoke. Is this going to be contested?
I don't expect it to be, Judge.
All right. If it turns out to be contested, do you have any objection to the probation officer appearing by Zoom?
No.
All right, Norma, if you'll set this for contested the week of March 17th. March 17th, is that good for you, counsel?
Double check.
And if it turns out that it's not a contested, then it won't be a contested.
Okay. I like the way you said that. If it turns out it's not contested.
Then it won't be contested.
Contested.
There we
It's
go.
just simple.
Yes. I find that if you keep it simple, people will understand.
March 17th, 9 a.m.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you all back on the 17th.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Have a seat, man.
And on that one, Ms. Abrams, if it's contested, they can appear by Zoom. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 9341, State of Texas versus Courtney Flores, AKA Courtney Sloan. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Valentina Coco on behalf of defense.
Are you Courtney Sloan?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the defense has requested that a bond be set. It's the court's understanding that you all have reached an agreement in the amount of $10,000 with previous bond conditions. All right, the reason why you don't have a bond is because on January 28th, you failed to appear. Why was your client not present?
She had a lot going on in her life.
You want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so in order for me to set a bond that's appropriate, I have to know that you're going to appear for court. That's one of the main things about bond. Isn't it an amount where somebody is saying the cost of not appearing outweighs not appearing? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So why were you not here?
My brother passed away on January 15th.
I'm sorry to hear about that. Next time, here's the thing. All you have to do is pick up the phone. If you would have picked up the phone, the state will tell you, your attorney will tell you. If you would have picked up the phone and called the court and said, my brother passed, may I have a reset, or let your attorney know, then guess what would have ended up happening? The case would have been reset. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else?
Not from the defense here.
All right. I'm going to follow your agreement. Set the bond at $10,000. Who is the alleged complainant? All right. There's going to be no contact with the complainant. Oh, just 1 second. I'm sorry. It should be in the indictment. All right, it's Dollar General, so you're not to have any contact with Dollar General stores, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received discovery in this case?
You and I need to double check whether or not I've received everything.
All right, Norma? All right, so give her a reset form for March 24th. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.